Let's go sell high. Hit me with some sell high ones, Cal.
All right, I'll start us off with a sell high. I've got Kelvin Johnson. If you picked him up on your waiver wire, this kid is balling. He's been playing for the Spurs.
Great pickup.
He's been right now. He's on my board for what is he? 47 on the Yahoo rank.
On Yahoo, yeah. I'll try to find him on a punt turnover build. But you keep going.
But look, 15 points a game, 8 rebounds, which is pretty good. And then he's got that 1.3 steals, 0.7 blocks, which is always useful. Pretty good, efficient field goal, 3-throw percentage. So it doesn't really hurt you anywhere. Even his assists, he's giving you like kind of 3 assists. So he's just one of those guys who just fill it all up. Nothing really negative, can fit any build. He's been put up 30 minutes a game as well. You've even heard some of the things that like Popovich has been saying. He's got a lot of confidence in this guy. There has been the injuries with the Spurs, so maybe his minutes will come down. And moving forward, but and that's the reason to sell high. So right now, if he's ranked at 47, especially if you're on Yahoo, maybe you could turn him into something. His minutes come down and moving forward, and you could get a bit of a win.
If you can get a top 60 or even a top 70, if it fits your build a bit better, I would take that. I still think he's a great pickup, and by no means, definitely, if you can't get that, just keep him on your roster. He's doing really well. Look, Derek White has had frustrating injuries with his toe. He's broken his toe twice. But he's eventually going to come back into this team. LaMarcus Aldridge has just come back into the team after being injured with a sore knee for several games. So those shots are going to go down, I think, as some of those players come back into the side, which, like you said, is the reason that you'd sell high. The steals, at this time of year, it's hard to predict if they're going to stay there. Sometimes, with only a few games sample size, if you have a couple of games with 3 steals in it can sway those sort of statistics. So I think the rebounds are real. I think the threes are real. But yeah, some of those low variance statistics, steals and blocks, may not be able to be sustained. So definitely, if you can get a top 60, trade it. I'm going to give you a real sell high here, Cal. CJ Mccallum. What do you think about CJ?
Well, right now he's top 10.
Right now he's the 8th ranked player. So in a punt turnover build. So if you can get anything close to a top 20 player for CJ Mccallum right now, I would do that in a heartbeat, because I don't think he's going to be shooting this well. It does look like he's made a concerted effort to shoot more threes, which is a good thing. He's always sort of been that mid-range sort of type player. But would you be happy to sell high on CJ at this point?
You can get him off for like a player in the 20s to 30 range. I reckon that's a win. He started hot. This happens with shooters sometimes. His field goal still is only 46%, which I guess is kind of like what he's been accustomed to previously.
Yeah.
It's really is he's just taking a lot of threes now. So he's averaged about 5 threes a game, which is like Steph Curry level, which is huge.
Yeah.
Pretty surprising. I guess a trade, and we mentioned before, of a buy low. Would you be willing, say you had Jimmy Butler in your team, would you be willing to make the trade between CJ and Jimmy?
I think at this stage, if you're the person with CJ McCallum, you could even ask for more than Jimmy Butler, I think, at this stage. I personally think that Jimmy Butler will be better than CJ at the end of the year. I think that he will be higher ranked. But I think you could even, at this stage, if I'm the CJ McCallum, I'd be asking for Jimmy Butler and then some, personally. You could use the argument that he's taking more threes, he's facilitating more. But I'll just point you to those steals, Cal. There's 1.9 steals per game is not going to be sustainable for CJ McCallum. He's never ever been a guy that's done that before, and that increases his value a lot. And I don't think he's going to be able to keep up over 5 assists per game. So, and 4.9 threes, that's a lot. I mean, it does look like, watching him play, looks like he's made an effort to shoot more threes. So maybe he does increase that. But I don't think 4.9 is really where we're going to be settling on at the end of the year. Like that's a lot of threes.
Yeah, surely that's going to have to come down. I think the steals is a good point. So I've had CJ before on a good championship team where I was punting assists, and he's one of my point guards.
Sneaky flex there.
Yeah, that's a little sneaky flex. He was one of those guys who really struggled to just kind of get the 1 steal a game kind of thing. So 1.9 steals is definitely, I think, a bit out of reach for him. He's never been that kind of guy. It's boosting him up to this, top 10 ranked player. I think it could be a good season for him, but yeah, definitely. I think you're right. That's a good sell high candidate.
All right, hit me with another sell high. We'll do one more each.
All right, well, it's got to be Michael Porter Jr., who is also apparently a top 10 player right now.
Oh man, killing it.
I mean, he is killing it. I'll give him that, but surely he's going to come back down to earth. In terms of fantasy, right now on my basketball monster, he's ranked 7, with no punt strategies at all. Just plain. Here's the stats: putting up about 20 points a game, 3 threes. The 7 rebounds. Can't pass the ball because obviously when he gets it, he's shooting it.
He's shooting
so
it.
great
He's shooting
in
that
a
bang.
That's it. He's great in a punt assist kind of build, 1 steal, 1.5 blocks, which is really what is boosting him. And that's what kind of surprised me a bit too. Just the counting stats on the defensive end. And then the field goals is through the roof. I mean, 13 field goal attempts while shooting about 57% field goal is, kind of like Nikola Jokic first round value in that category. So kudos to whoever picked him up. There was obviously a lot of hype around him to before the season started, but he's performing. He is injured. I think that's probably the one negative on him. I think he's always going to have a bit of an injury risk.
So
just because of the whole back problems.
Again, he's not injured at the moment. He is he's under COVID protocol, so he's been out.
Well, that's good news then.
It is good news. He's not injured, and it was really poor timing because he just put up a 30-point game with Jamal Murray out, played really, really well, and then bang, COVID protocols. And it looks like whenever someone gets those sort of protocols, it's a whole week off, basically, is what we heard from the Durant news. It looks like 7 days. So that is, and as you mentioned before, if you're lucky enough to draft him like I did, you would be looking to sell high. It will be tough to do with that injury thing next to him, just because people go, he's not playing and things like that. He looks like he'll be back late this week, I'm hoping. So maybe if he gets another couple games, then you would look to sell high after that and if you can get a top 20 player back, I would definitely do that. Although I do think he does have a top 30 ceiling. He is someone who I picked him at that point for a reason. He does have genuine upside, but I would take top 20 and run with it to secure that.
If I offered you someone like a Sabonis, Vucevic, or a DeAndre Ayton, would you take the chance at any of those?
Yeah, look, I would take Ayton. I would take Sabonis, Vucevic.
Vucevic is technically the best out of all of them, fantasy-wise.
I know. I'm thinking of my build. It always comes back to your build.
Yeah.
Look, maybe. Depending on what my build is, I would probably say yes to all of those in one circumstance or another. But I think he's going to have a really big year. Like his efficient percentages is going to be elite. He's not going to turn the ball over, so that's why another reason why he's ranked so high in a turnover, so 9 category league. He's only averaging half a turnover a game. In a punt turnover,
that's
build,
actually huge, by the way. Half a turnover a game while playing 29 minutes. That is that's actually really, really impressive. So that actually would be boosting up his value a fair bit too.
Insanely efficient player. So if you punt that turnover, he actually falls down to the 15th ranked player at the moment, which is still really good, but just a little bit of a different story than number 7. I'll throw one more sell high out there. And look, I could take the low-hanging fruit and say Miles Turner or Jaylen Brown, Tobias Harris, players who are all well above what we expected them to do. But I'll throw someone who's a little bit lower ranked down there. Terry Rozier is going to be my sell high player. LaMelo Ball is going to be taking over that team any minute now. He's going to be starting. Look, it's probably going to be for Graham. I think Graham might move to the bench. Rozier is probably a better fit next to him. But we've seen a couple games from Rozier where he has just gone off and hit 10 threes, 8 threes. He scored over 40 points on his first game.
Yeah, 42 points in that opener.
Yeah. You've already seen the best of Terry Rozier this season. You've got his best stats for the season, and I think if you can sell Terry Rozier for someone close to his value, you'd be doing very well, because I think LaMelo Ball is only going to hurt his value the more he plays alongside him, the more he gets the ball in his hands and he's creating the assists and taking shots, and the offense flows through him more. So I would be selling high on Terry Rozier if I could.
Yeah, that's a good pick. There's just that kind of question marks behind the backcourt LaMelo Ball, if he does get the start, is it going to be Rozier? Is it going to be Graham? I think it's only inevitable that they do end up going with the youth movement when they've decided, our team does suck. Let's just give LaMelo the starting job. So yeah, I think you're right. I think you're totally right. This is as good as the stats really will be for the season, and so it's a good time to sell.
I guarantee he's not going to average over 21 points a game, shooting 48% and hitting 3.5 threes a game. So I don't think you can count on that from Scary Terry.